I love it here. This place is so awesome. I got an update on the mouse situation. It's in there. And there's more droppings basically every morning. It seems like it's just one. I really heard it scurrying around this morning, and it kind of sounded like it's not getting into the cab, but it's in kind of just under the dash, or like between the engine and the dash. Like there's like a firewall in there. It's kind of in there. I heard it scurrying around, and it was doing that little vibrating thing. I guess it's just its tail like just shaking, and you can hear it kind of almost like a rattle, like a vibration. But it's a mouse. So I've been online trying to find a mousetrap, and you know, y'all are gonna think this silly, but I don't want to like kill it. And you know, if I have to, I will. Since this is my lifestyle, since I live with the truck and the trailer, and we're constantly in these new places, in the woods and in the desert and in the mountains, these different natural locations where there's always going to be mice and chipmunks and rats and pack rats, all different kinds of rodents that are going to try and get in your vehicle. I need to have a system to capture those things when they happen. And you know, I haven't had a problem before. I did have that snake, and there's a video of that. You can check that out. I'll put a link to that at the end of this video, so you can see how I tried to get a snake out, and it was pretty scary for a little while there. But other than that, I haven't had issues with rodents staying in my vehicle. They have gotten into the engine before, but then they're gone pretty quickly. Echo has scared out a few chipmunks in the past. But this is something that's gonna happen again. So I can try to solve the problem right now just by killing it with you know, some snap traps. That should do the trick really quickly. But I'd like to have a solution that I can apply later in the future to where I don't have to kill everything that gets in here. Like I said, if a live trap system doesn't work, then yeah, I'll get the snap traps and I'll just kill them. The glue traps, like, that's pretty mean, you know. But again, like, this is my house, this is my lifestyle. I would do that if necessary. So I'm gonna start with the most reasonable thing first. The problem is I'm not able to get the traps that I want delivered in time. I'm gonna have to wait a few days before they get delivered in town, like at the Amazon drop box, and then I can go pick them up. And I want to solve that problem today. So I'm gonna go into town right now, and I scheduled a Walmart pickup. Walmart didn't have the traps that I wanted, but there is a feed store that has the dog food that I get for the dogs. It's kind of hard food to find. It's only in certain areas. So I'm gonna pick up a bag of that food, and at that feed store, they'll probably have the kind of trap I'm looking for. And it's basically just a little box with a little ramp, and the mouse goes up through this ramp, and then the ramp closes and shuts the door behind them. And then you have to check the trap, you know, regularly to see if there's anything in there, and then you just let it go right outside, right where you live. Yeah, no, I'm gonna take it, like, you know, I'll hike it out somewhere really far away and then just let it go out there. That's gonna make me feel better. And if I have the problem again in the future, then I won't have to think about, oh, I'm gonna have to kill them. I'll have a system where I can capture these annoying critters and release them safely and, you know, alive. You saw me before, I was leaving the hood of the engine open, and I mean, it doesn't really, it didn't leave the vehicle. I think it doesn't walk around the engine when the hood's open, because there's light in there, you know, so it just stays in the areas where it's dark still. But when you leave the hood open, then the light stays on your hood. And in my vehicle, and I think most vehicles are the same way, that light will automatically turn off. But I do have a backup in case that light, you know, didn't turn off on the hood after like a certain period of time. Then it's going to drain your battery. You know, that would probably take a long time to drain your battery. But you saw a handful of videos ago, I did have a dead battery, and that was something that I had to resolve. And again, that took me like days to figure out how to resolve that, but eventually I did. You can see that video. I'll put a link to that video at the end of this video as well, so you can see how I dealt with a dead battery. But now I have this system here, and I got this jumping battery. And this thing I've been using because it has these USB ports right here. And because I know, like, as a jumping battery, I'm not going to really need it very often, but I want to have it in an emergency in case I do need to jump my truck. So I've been keeping this thing charged, and I'll put a link to this down in the description so you can check it out. And I got a good deal on it. It seems like regular price is like $170, but I got it for like $90. And I wanted this specific one because it doesn't have the jumper cables attached to it. The jumper cables are separate. I'll show you those later. But this way, when it's a nice small unit like this, I can use these USB ports to keep my electronics charged. And it does have a flashlight here too. But I can keep, basically I've been using it to keep my phone charged in the trailer. And so I charge this thing up every 3 days, and that keeps my phone charged. And that's been like really, really helpful. So I've been getting a lot of use out of it that way. So I was thinking, well, if my battery does die, now I have an easy way to jumpstart the truck. So this is a cool piece of kit that I added to my setup. I feel really good about that. All right, so we're gonna head to the store in town. We're gonna pick up groceries, dog food, and I'm hopefully gonna come back with a humane mouse trap. And you guys are gonna think this is funny, but I just got into town, and man, it's dirty and hectic, and there's like homeless people on the street. It's mostly what I notice is just dirty and just people like in a hurry. And I'm just like, oh, I want to get to Walmart. Because for me, when I go to Walmart, I always do the pickup. And so that's where I'm at right now. They should bring out my groceries here any second. And Walmart for me is like the place I go for like solace in the city. Because you can go out into the middle of the parking lot if I have the trailer, and I can like take a nap there. It's a big parking lot. I can go out into the far corner, and it's generally pretty quiet out there. Of course, if you go into Walmart, then it's just hectic, and there's like grumpy people and like lots of all kinds of different things going on inside the store that I'm just kind of not used to that element anymore of civilization. Because, like right now, we're just out in the woods, and it's shocking to me when I come into these cities. Just different vibes in people. Everybody just has a different motivation than people that are out camping. That's why you go camping, because you want to relax. So when I come here to Walmart to do my pickup, I'm like, oh, this is easy. I just park here. I don't have to go inside, deal with anything. And I don't have to shop, because I've already done that on my phone, online, up in camp. And they're going to bring all my stuff out to me. And I already know what all the prices are. I don't have to wait in the checkout line or, maneuver my cart around people. I don't have to leave the dogs in the truck. They're right here with me right now while we wait for the groceries to come out. So it's funny for me, like Walmart for a lot of people is like hectic and stressful and annoying. But for me, it's like one of the places I go to in the city where I feel really relaxed and comfortable, because I'm not doing anything. I just sit in the truck and wait for my groceries to come to me. You can see that door right back there. That's where they come out with the carts. I'm used to the city. Like, I lived in Seattle for a long time, like right in the city, and I loved it there. Like, I really like Seattle. I had a good time there. One of the reasons I left was because things started to really change. Oh, here's my groceries now. Yeah, I know I sound like a real wimp talking about how it's like so hectic and in the city, and it's just the contrast, that I notice. Like I said, I'm used to Seattle, so I've dealt with it before. It's just for the last 4 years now, we're in the woods, we're in the desert. We just have a trailer, and we're just living out in the middle of nowhere, and there's very few people around, and the people that we do encounter, they're doing the same thing that we're doing. If they're not living nomadically like us, they're temporarily dealing with the same kind of things, and they have the same kind of gear and the same kind of issues. And people wave as you drive by somebody on a dirt road. You pull over when someone's coming by and they got a bigger load than you. You help people out if somebody needs a jump or somebody needs some advice on where to camp, those kinds of things. Then people are pretty friendly out in the middle of the woods. And it's funny because when you're in the city, people talk about like, oh, you don't want to go in the woods. It's scary out there. You don't know who's going to be out there. But I've had nothing but good experiences as far as like the people and the kinds of things that people are doing out there. I just got cut off, pulling up to a traffic light, and this guy just pulled in like at the last minute right in front of me. So I had to kind of slam on my brakes. And then in the parking lot in the Walmart, man, that is hectic. That is hectic because there's all kinds of stuff going on. And then there's homeless people or people with the signs, trying to get money, trying to get people to hand them money out the window. And I got nothing against people that are doing that kind of thing. Like, they're not doing anything wrong, but it does sort of cause a problem when I'm trying to pull out. And, in this case, at least I don't have the trailer, but I'm trying to pull out of the parking lot into traffic. And, there's someone standing there trying to get my attention. Maybe sometimes they're even talking to you, or they have a dog, but they have a sign. And if their sign's big, it's literally blocking part of your view. And I'm not trying to get in an accident. So my technique is, I just don't, I keep my attention on the road. And so I don't get distracted by people that are standing there, whatever they're saying, whatever they're doing, or if they have a sign. I don't read the sign because I'm trying to drive safely. That's just how I operate. But what I noticed was like they'll have a sign and it's literally blocking my view now, so I can't see everything that I need to see. I can't see all the traffic that's coming. And besides the fact that, they're standing there just like blocking your view. And like I said, like I get it. They're doing what they're doing. They're not, they're technically not doing anything wrong. I'm not saying they should stop doing that. It's these kind of problems that you notice coming into a bigger city. And we're in Flagstaff right now, and it's beautiful around here. The mountains, there's snow on the mountains. The trees, the weather is amazing. It probably wouldn't be a bad place to live. Like it seems fairly nice, but it is dirty. It's a city. I'm gonna go hit the feed store here, pick up the dog's food, and we'll see if I can find a decent mousetrap. So we'll see what I come out with. That's a cool store. They got everything in there. They got RV stuff. They got automotive stuff. The prices are not too bad even. This was the same price at Home Depot that I saw online, the same exact trap. So we'll see how this thing works. I'm gonna kind of test it here before I leave this parking lot just to make sure that it actually works. And I'm pretty excited because I think we're gonna catch that mouse, which I have in the truck right now. Like I've been driving around with that. I'm pretty sure I picked it up at our last campsite, which was like 150 miles from here or something like that. And now I've driven it into town and I'm gonna take it back to camp just so I could get this thing, so I could capture it and then get rid of it. Like, so it's just riding with us. It's kind of strange. This is our camp. I love it here. It's so awesome. The dogs are inside. I just fed them dinner, and now the sun's starting to come down. It's starting to get cool out. The weather is just amazing. It's just so cool to be nomadic and be able to go and camp and live wherever you want. And a lot of that's dictated by the temperatures that you're seeking. It's too hot where you are, or it's too cold where you are. And you can end up in the perfect place climate-wise, usually within just a couple 100 miles. That's what we did here. I love this place. Now that we're back from getting that mousetrap, I want to show you my setup for the mousetrap. I know a lot of you are going to have like ideas, what I'm doing wrong, or, maybe I'm using the wrong kind of bait, or maybe I put it in the wrong location. And I think this specific trap is really made for like inside your house, because you can kind of push it up against the wall, and then that's where the mice like to run. They like to run along walls. But in the truck here, the mouse is just running all over the place. Although I'm pretty sure it's kind of running back and forth inside this area here, kind of under this vent area. And I haven't heard it since I got back. You know, now that the engine's cool, I've been checking in here to see if I can hear it scurrying around. The one thing I was thinking about this trap is, see, I got it right here. The door on it is really small. You know, it's made for mice. So if it's not a mouse in here, like if it's a pack rat or something bigger, then maybe it's not going to fit in there. It just sounds kind of big, but I know animals can sound different when you can't see them. You know, it could just be a tiny mouse. I mean, that's probably what it is. I'm basing that off of the droppings that I've been finding along this area here. And then I keep getting this liquid coming through here, and I was thinking like, oh, it's some sort of drainage, like some rain or something like that. But we haven't had rain here for days, and it's kind of this greenish yellow color. It kind of looks like antifreeze, but there's no reason antifreeze should be over there. I don't have any antifreeze leaks, but it's like this little bit of green kind of fluid. Let me show you how I set up this trap. It's been in here for a little bit. This was the only no-kill trap they had. No, they did have another one, but it didn't have a clear lid. And I thought the clear lid was important so you can look in there and see if the mouse is in there or not, so you know if you got something. And this was only $7. They had one for $20. It was bigger. It could probably hold a dozen or a couple dozen mice. I mean, it was really big. But it was all aluminum, so you couldn't see inside of it. So I don't know how you'd tell if you actually had captured something or not. It's a really basic trap. I mean, so I could show you how it works. I guess I'm not going to show you how it works because it was fascinating to me, like these kind of things. And I just put a little piece of a dog bone in there, like a milk bone kind of thing. They smell like kind of like chicken or whatever. I figured the mouse would find that appetizing. I could put peanut butter in there, but I just thought it's going to make a mess in there. And I'm going to want to reuse this. So I'm going to try this for tonight and see if that works. I'll come out and check it later tonight. And then once in the morning. Because the thing is, if you catch a mouse, you know, you don't want to leave this especially in the truck here, because it'll get hot once the sun comes out. And so I have seen a few droppings here on this cover right here. And so that's where I'm going to put it now. It would be best if I could do it here, but I can't close the hood because I've seen several droppings in this area. So I'm going to try it here for tonight and we'll see. So wish me luck. The trap is set. There's just one other person camped out here with me, and it's exactly the kind of neighbor I love to have. I haven't met the person at all, but they're super quiet, like super quiet. No generators, nothing like that. No music, just super quiet. So I dig that a lot. I really dig that. But that's the only other person that's out here with me, and pretty much nobody drives by along these roads. It's very rare I see anybody driving through here. So it's pretty awesome. I wanted to take a moment and thank Marcy, Jimmy's Roast, and Marshall, the three of you, because you guys sent a super chat through YouTube, and that's so awesome. Like, you know, yeah, it helps us out. But what you're doing is you're motivating me to make more videos and release more videos regularly. You know, we're always doing something really interesting to me. Like, that's why I'm out here, because I love being out here and doing the things that we do, me and the dogs, and then fixing stuff and kind of like going through the problems that we have and trying to figure things out and find new locations to camp and new things to do and new things to see. For me, it's really interesting. And to find out that people like you, Marcy, and Jimmy's Roast and Marshall find what we're doing interesting enough to like send us a super thanks. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. But I think it's really cool. It's really nice. It's really, really nice. I really appreciate it. being in the city today, you know what it is? It's just the pace of city life. And it, you know, it's a pretty mellow city. You know, Flagstaff is not like a big hustle bustle city, but to me, it really felt like that. It's just like the mindset of the people just got to go, go, go. People like riding really close behind me and like cutting me off. And, you know, and I was doing the speed limit, but they're, you know, they want to go faster than the speed limit. They drive those roads every day. And for me, it's just like, I'm pretty casual about it. You know, I'm going the speed limit. I'm not driving super slow because I just have the truck, so I can drive, you know, the speed limit. I can drive fast. I'm not towing the trailer. So my mindset is just so different, and I can really feel that. That's why I'm happy to be out here in a place like this. And, you know, people say like, what do you do out there? Don't you get bored? And they always say like, don't you get lonely? And no, I don't get lonely. I don't get lonely out here. I don't. I have my dogs. If I didn't have my dogs, I would get lonely. But they say, well, what do you do out there? What, don't you get bored? And it's like, to me, I'm just like, look at this. It's like, this is what I do out here.